We begin with updates from the local government polls in Rivers State, where the State Independent Electoral Commission, RSIEC, has announced the result of the local government election held earlier today in the state. The Commission's chairman, Rtd Justice Adolphus Enebeli, who announced the result, said the Action People's Party won the chairmanship position in 22 out of 23 local government areas where collation has been concluded. He said the collation of the remaining local government areas of Etche is still ongoing due to the difficult terrain of the area. The RSIEC Chairman also said that announcement for the 319 councillorship seats will be announced alongside that of Etche chairmanship position when collations are concluded. In the meantime, the highly anticipated local government election in Rivers State has been marked by controversy, allegations of intimidation and pockets of violence. News Central's correspondent Igbalani Omoni, deployed to monitor the polls in Port Harcourt and Obioakpo local governments, has more.
The first stop was the Rivers State Independent Electoral Commission office, which recorded heavy police and military presence early Saturday morning. However, the military personnel unexpectedly dispersed after a few minutes. As of 8 a.m., electorate in both local governments were seen milling around the street, eagerly awaiting voting materials from RSIEC. Despite calls from some political parties to boycott the election, many voters expressed determination to exercise their franchise.
Police that are supposed to secure both property and humans and have abandoned their duties to play a personal role. And police is not supposed to be personal. They are supposed to defend and work in line with the government of the day, and they are not doing it.
We are not in war, we are not fighting, so why would security come? Everywhere is calm, people are coming to do their normal voting. So if there is war, that is why you look for security agencies. Yeah, we are not fighting anybody. We are doing the normal thing.
Upon visiting various polling units, News Central observed that residents had already cast their vote, with some sharing concerns about the ongoing political crisis in the state.
This is the fairest, fairness, and credible election in recent time. You can see, even when they say they are not going to give us security, you see how Rivers people have complied. It's showing you that the Rivers people are happy with the government of Rivers, and they're happy with the process, and they want democratically elected local government officials to be inaugurated in Rivers.
We have a governor who is the chief security officer of the state, and what is happening is a normal thing. The man who says he wants to own Rivers State, the current minister of FCT, Chief Wiki, cannot own Rivers. Rivers State is too big for one man to own it as a private estate.
Meanwhile, the All Progressives Congress APC and People's Democratic Party staged a joint protest in front of RSIEC, rejecting the election's legitimacy.
We are here to express our displeasure concerning the ongoing election. We are not part of the election, and we will not be part of it. We just want to let the public know that if you can see the crowd, this shows that elections is not taking place in this state.
Can there be election when the court has said that the processes have been issued are fraud? Can the court, can this state have an election without PDP, who is the majority party, and APC, what is the opposition party in the states? To tell you that it's a charade, it's just a sham.
The election was largely peaceful, but allegations of intimidation and violence marred the process.
First observation that I got was when the materials came. The materials was dispersed by the former councillor of this ward in the person of Awoye, and also the materials, they carried it with the current councillor of the APP, his motto. They carried the materials with his motto from government house down to this place. His name is Monima Oju. All the units, it is those same set of persons that carry these materials and dispatch these materials to those units. So I am asking if that is constitutional for a candidate like me, for me to go to government house, get material that is supposed to be carried by RSIEC officials.
An explosion was reported in the early hours leading up to the election, causing anxiety amongst voters. News Central continues to monitor developments and provide updates as more information becomes available. In Port Harcourt, Rivers State, for News Central, I am Igbalani Omoni.
That was the report on River State polls by our correspondent, Igbalani Omoni. Now, still talking about the polls in River State, where the State Independent Electoral Commission, RSIEC, has announced the result of the local government election held earlier today in the state. The Commission's chairman, Rtd Justice Adolphus Enebeli, who announced the result, said the Action People's Party won the chairmanship position in 22 out of 23 local government areas where collation had been concluded. Now, he said the collation of the remaining local government areas of Etche is still ongoing due to the difficult terrain of the area. The RSIEC Chairman also said that announcement for the 319 councillorship seats will be announced alongside that of Etche chairmanship position when collations are concluded. All right, we're hoping to get Austin join us very soon, but in the meantime, also joining us on the news to discuss more on this is a public affairs analyst, Ruben Izu Jr. Good evening, Ruben. Thanks for joining us on the news.
Good evening, News Central. It's a pleasure joining you guys in analyzing the election so far in Rivers State.
It's a pleasure having you join us as well. Now, Ruben, with APP winning 22 out of 23 chairmanship positions, how does this indicate a shift in voter alignment or possible concerns over electoral competition and fairness?
Well, this is one of the reasons where some persons have actually raised concern in respect to the shift of election conduct from state electoral bodies to the central, in as much as some persons may have some reservation over it. I was telling someone the other day, when INEC conducts election, you have the privilege for some other minute party, as you may call them, stealing some seats. Like you can see YPP, you can see Labour Party and all the rest, and even NNPP have National Assembly members, and in some of the states, you could see them have state assembly members, but a shift entirely is the case when the state CX conducts election. We find it difficult. The only state, to the best of my memory, that has conducted a genuine, free and fair election was in Kaduna under the governorship of El Rufai, where electronic voting system were deployed. You saw how PDP won in most of the strongholds and other parties. But when you go quickly to what is conducted, check Imo State, check Enugu State, and that of River State now, it tells you that it's a one-party thing. For me, everybody who knows, anyone who knows River State will tell you that we don't even know APP, not to talk of APP sweeping the whole LGAs in River State. We have 23 local government, and RSIEC, as at this moment, have said they've collated results from 22 local government that APP actually has swept the entire 22 local government, except for Etche that is still ongoing. If the Etche results is also announced, hopefully, since the trend is very, very much used to us, I guess APP will still win. Now come to ask this question. Go to the looks and crannies of River State and ask few questions to those who are residing in River State, who are members of the APP. Have you the knowledge of APP? Do you know the logo of APP? I guess it will be amazing to get the feedback from citizens here in River State. Then now the question is, how come APP is winning ahead of other political parties that are so known? Now, come to look at it again, we know that the election is not keenly contested, if I should say. But for other parties who indicated interest to contest, you listen carefully to one of the candidates who is a councillor. We got this feedback from journalists within the state that materials actually that is meant to conduct the election did not leave the office of RSIEC. It was actually moved from government house, and it was allocated to some of the APP candidates who are already contesting the same election to take it to their various local government. How, if I am to be a candidate from another party contesting this election, how am I assured that the process will be free and fair when a co-contestant is given the privilege to go with materials to the local government? And we heard clearly some journalists from radio stations who were going about trying to monitor the elections. There was no RSIEC officials anywhere in the polling units, but results somehow has emanated. So it's one of the things that I think those who are in their wisdom accepted that the National Assembly should pass a law that will actually move RSIEC's responsibility in conducting the state elections to actually INEC. I think it will do us a little bit. I believe INEC is not perfect, but they seem to be much more better because, like I said in the beginning, when they conduct election, we see other parties win some other seats across the federation. But when RSIEC across the federation conducts election, it is a one-way according to the party that the governor belongs to. So that is the same thing that has happened in Rivers State.
Okay, Ruben, what would you say are the possible legal and political implications of conducting an election without an updated INEC voter register?
Now, the fact remains here, we've heard so many litigations flying left and right, but I believe that is not yet to huru. Elections can still be annulled if there were loopholes in the process. I am not a lawyer. We've listened keenly to lawyers from both sides and those who are neither from the both sides who are neutral. And I am optimistic that there are some skirmishes that I believe, I am very much certain, because I think prior to the election eve, I got to notice that about 5 or 6 members of the APP also challenged the chairmanship position of the worker-led APP, and as well as the membership of the 23 local government chairman candidates of the party, and as well as the councillorship. These are facts before the party. And I know that the constitution of various political parties, despite the varies, gives a certain timeline for you to be a political party card-carrying member, for you to vie for a seat through the political platform. I don't know the constitution of the APP. For those who have gone to court, they may have x-rayed the constitution that the party already has, and I've seen some areas that is worth challenging. And I think the court will be very busy. There will be a post-election litigations that will befall this very election. It is not yet over, because I know that there are so many mistakes. I reside here in Rivers State. Some few days before the election, I happened to be on a radio station with the IPAC chairman of Rivers State, who alleges that parties have actually done campaigns some few months ago before this very week that the election is holding. And I asked a simple question: how can a political party do campaign before RSIEC actually screen some of the candidates who are to be failed in the same election? Is it possible? This is Rivers State. I watched keenly. You were a journalist. I don't know how many persons actually saw videos of political parties campaigning. We could not see. We don't even know the names of some of the chairmen from the local governments. We are Rivers people. We are from various local governments in Rivers State. I stand to be corrected. Let someone tell me, even a day to the close of campaign, ordinarily, we saw some persons who are still campaigning because they had no opportunity to campaign. They campaigned day and night because they didn't go according to the calendar. So I don't know. And I am not a political party member contesting in the local government election, but I'm very optimistic. Labour Party, NNPP, SDP, and some other parties who actually, except for PDP and APC, who officially withdrew from the election, citing the fact that there are so many irregularities that they were actually contending with. I know that some other parties who took time to contend. You've listened to a candidate of, I think that's a Labour Party councillorship candidate from one of the local government. He has given you a rundown of what he observed even as a candidate of a political party. I want to see other political parties from the elections is over. From what RSIEC has given to the public, it is remaining just a chain to be announced, and the 23 local government is done and dusted for what they have done for today. But I think a lot of candidates, a lot of parties will actually head to the court to seek redress. That's what I think will happen, because there are so many gray areas befalling this election.
All right, public affairs analyst Ruben Izu Jr., thank you so much for joining us on the news and sharing your thoughts, and definitely we'll see how the elections pan out. But thank you once again.
It's a pleasure joining you.
You're still live with us on the news. We go on a short break now, and when we come back, more stories. Do stay with us. Many thanks for staying with us on the news. Now, before we go further, still speaking on the Rivers polls, we want to hear from the RSIEC Chairman on the election results collation.
I, Honorable Justice Adolphus Enebeli, retired, in my capacity as the Chairman, Chief Electoral Commissioner of the Rivers State Independent Electoral Commission, and pursuant to the extant provisions of the Rivers State Independent Electoral Law Number 2, 2018, and all other laws enabling me in that behalf, do hereby make declaration of results for the chairmanship elections into the 23 local government councils of Rivers State. After painstaking collation of results at the close of poll by our team of officials regarding the local government council elections conducted this day, the 5th of October 2024, the following candidates, having scored majority of lawful or valid votes cast in 2/3 of the respective wards comprising their respective local government areas of Rivers State, are hereby returned as elected chairmen or chairwomen. They are 1. Abua Odwa, Ruben Vincent Obo, APP. Ahoda East, Esu Rizi Chibudom Hezekiah, APP. The details of the statistics of the respective scores shall be published in RSIEC website and the media, and they will be made available to the public and all contestants. The election results for councillorship election into 319 wards spread across the 23 local government areas of Rivers State shall be declared subsequently and soonest, together with that of Etche that has been stood down.
Our correspondent in River State, Austin Azu, also monitored the election and filed this result.
In selected wards and polling units visited in some local government areas of Rivers State, voting materials and RSIEC officials arrived on time. For some of the polling units, the ballot boxes are almost filled up with ballot papers as early as 10 a.m.
You should form the line. You wait for your turn. When you get there, they'll give you the voting paper. They'll first cross-check your name. After that, if they see your name, you go ahead and vote.
So fine. Everything is going on peacefully. People are coming out to vote. This is really 16. People are voting here. I also went to our sister ward unit 14, and people are still voting. So everything is going on well.
At the polling units of the governor at Ward 005, Unit 008, Opobonikoro local government area, the governor was allegedly absent, while the voters described the poll peaceful.
Voters are here voting. They were on the queue before now until the downpour came. They had to come to the corner. But so far so good. The process has been very peaceful. Election is taking place in this ward, simultaneously in the various units, and we're having an hitch-free electoral process here.
No, there are no hitches. Election is going on smoothly. No violence, no disturbance. Everything is going on peacefully. People are happy to come and vote. The turnout is very, very impressive.
The caretaker committee chairman of Nkala local government area of the state, a RSIEC returning officer for the AGA, also provided security assessments of the poll to journalists.
A few minutes ago, I got a sad information that one ward, as they were moving their materials to their ward, that they were waylaid on the way and the materials were carted away.
In every election, there's first that people will be dragging, trying to cut away materials. We have had 1 or 2 ballot boxes being snatched here and there, but now we're in a digital era. So snatching of ballot papers or ballot box or vandalizing vehicles that carried electoral materials and all that is neither here nor there. I know that at the end of the election, the long arm of the law will cut up with those culprits or whoever is found to be that perpetrated such acts of violence.
Meanwhile, some residents of the state have started setting agenda for the next council chairmen and councillors, whom they believe will attract meaningful developments to the grassroots.
The thing what they go do for me or for this community, yeah, then go do our problem. We not get any things. Some of people say we not get house. Some of people will not get paddle or a canoe. Some of people when they sell market, they work out for bush anytime. So we don't want make it work out for bush again. So any person where we put vote for, may come to us fine.
Advice to political leader, I wish them success. May the Lord grant them wisdom, success, and prosperity, and a good governance of the people of Opopo Town.
What we want from the local government is not just about projects. It's that before they do anything, they will come and sit with us and do an assessment, ask us what we need.
A state without political peace might have absolute difficulties in providing the people with good governance. Hence, these voters urged all the political gladiators in the states to let go of their interest for the sake of peace and people of the state.
And we don't like Rivers people to suffer because of, like you said, contending gladiators. It's not about them. It is about Rivers people. People are going to be hurt by this action and this contention.
As residents of the state now await results from the various LGAs and wards, attention has shifted to the Rivers State Independent Electoral Commission, where the final collation and announcements of the council chairman-elect will be made. In Ataba community, Rivers State for News Central, I'm Austin Azu.
All right, Austin Azu, the correspondent who brought that report, is on standby now in River State for more updates. Austin, good evening. Austin, I mean, we have been following the updates and you've been doing a great job giving us, you know, the update on how the Rivers election has unfolded so far. With police withholding security during the election due to a court order, what was the atmosphere like at the polling stations that you visited?
First and foremost, most of the police centers we visited, we saw vigilantes that were on ground and other individuals kind of providing security services for the polling units. And relatively, was quite peaceful, and we didn't encounter any security, controversies in most of the areas we visited. So obviously, it shows that the people provided security. And that's just practically what we observed in most of the local government areas and the wards and the units that we visited. So practically it was like some of them rightly expressed themselves because, a void of insecurity challenging, apart from maybe those areas that ballot materials and materials were carted away by persons.
Right. Now, Austin, the RSIEC Chairman claimed a large voter turnout. From your observation on the ground, did this align with what you witnessed across the various polling units?
I observed quite well that even before as early as 10 o'clock in the morning and before 10 o'clock, we saw that the ballot box almost half it already. So we were surprised and asked questions. How come that we have this, this live numbers, this quantum of ballot papers inside the ballot box? And they told us that the voters have come and they have gone back. So obviously what they claim seems like the turnout was quite encouraging. People have come, people have voted, and some of them have gone back to their various houses. But of course, it's left for you and I to look at what they have said, if you believe them or not. We know quite well that local government elections have some issues that have to do with low voter apathy across Nigeria. Can I call it in Rivers, in Delta, in Bayelsa, or in Kano. They are always manned by low voters turnout. But in telling Nigerians and Rivers that we have a large turnout of voters, I believe we have its own figures. But for what we saw on the field, there were few individuals that were on the ground that we were able to see. And not only that, on the 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, we saw some polling units already closed already. So they were just waiting for maybe few hours for them to start sorting and counting. Then after they start, moving back to their various ward and RAC centers. And not only that, as well, went to the community across the river and got there around the 2. And before we got there, they told us that they have finished voting and the materials have been taken taken to the local government head office. So it becomes so suspicious to many people. How come voting supposed to start by 8 and end by 2 o'clock? Probably if you have enough turnout and people are free on the queue, that there is expected for them to be on the queue till 4 p.m. before they will close the queue. And if you exceed more than 4, you can allow the people on the queue to cast their votes subsequently so that the votes can complete before you start sorting and counting. So we asked those questions and they told us that they are finished voting and the voting materials are taken to the council headquarters. So it's practically what we saw on the ground, and just like every other places, the results have been so far announced by the RSIEC Chairman.
All right, Austin Azu, thank you so much for that update.
Welcome.
Now to more stories. The governor of Plateau State, Caleb Mutfwang, has assured the people of the state that the forthcoming local council elections in the state will be the best among others in Nigeria. The governor made the assertion in Jos, the state capital, when he flagged off campaign activities for the People's Democratic Party in Plateau North and South zones of the state. News Central's Chizoba Anyuwe tells us more.
It's my honor, therefore, to present this flag to the chairman to be the incoming chairman by the grace of God of Jos South.
That was the climax of the campaign flag-off at the northern zone of Plateau by Governor Caleb Mutfwang. According to him, and I quote, the presentation of the PDP flags to the chairmanship and councillorship candidates signified the authority of the party, giving them the banner of battle to go and conquer for PDP, end of quote. The governor is confident that the grassroots polls in the state will be credible, thus becomes a benchmark for other states in Nigeria.
We will continue to respect the wishes of the people in making sure that we run PDP. So come 9th of October, I want to hear that in every local government, we went out in our numbers. We are not going to rig any election. We are not election riggers. We win clean and fair. And by the grace of God, we will win the 17 local governments. Let's come out and show our strength. We are prepared more than INEC to conduct this election. And I want you to know that this election is going to be the most credible in Nigeria. So, thank you for your commitment. Thank you for your support.
His deputy and other party stalwarts at the event are not losing sleep as they say the party is equal to the task of winning.
You have been emphasizing the inclusivity of women in your administration. You have stood by women that they should be given either a chairman, vice chairman, or secretaries of the local government, and also some positions in the party structure. We are grateful, Your Excellency.
We want to confirm our dominance of the political arena in Plateau State. So for whatever reason, let no one stay away from going to vote. And the only party to vote is PDP.
I want to plead all of you, as your chairman, that we have it, and let all come out and give this vote. Everybody vote is very important. Let us come out and tell the entire people of Plateau State
that Plateau belongs to PDP and PDP is Plateau.
As the October 9, 2024 local government election date draws nearer, all eyes will be on the party supporters and their candidates, including the election umpire, RSIEC, to see how well electoral activities in the state will pan out. In Jos for News Central, Chizoba Anyuwi.
The 2024 graduating class of the School of Politics, Policy and Governance has been tasked to adopt unconventional approaches to leadership in the country, leveraging resources and ideas to create positive changes in their communities. Now, this was during the graduation ceremony held at the sidelines of the 2024 Africa Conference, which held in the nation's capital, Abuja. News Central's Joshua Imarayi reports.
The graduation ceremony of the 2024 class of the School of Politics, Policy and Governance, which held in Nigeria's capital, Abuja. The ceremony started with the presentation of certificates to students of the class. Several awards of recognition were given to those who distinguished themselves with excellence. The founder of the school tasked the graduating students to be unconventional in their approach to leadership and governance.
So your charge is really to go out there and be the unconventional kind of leaders that we raised in the period that you spent with us. Your power to do great things are already in your mindset that you all accumulated working together throughout your program. Congratulations.
Some of the graduates shared their experience during the program.
When we started, a lot of us probably thought this was going to be a walk in the park. But trust me, this is no walk in the park. It's no mean feat to have gone through this program in the last 10 months. It requires a lot of dedication.
So far, the experience was worth it. But not lie to you, it was very rigorous. You delve into leadership, you delve into public policy, you delve into inclusiveness, you delve into everything that inspires good governance and to enhance improvement on our democratic system and leadership generally.
What we have observed is that the citizenry is not as engaged as it should be, is not as informed as it should be, and in an attempt to create a value-based citizenry also, we must provide the information and keep them engaged. Because without the citizens knowing what they have to do, understanding their rights, it's more difficult to create change without the citizenry.
The school also tasked the graduates to make positive changes in any leadership position they find themselves. This, they believe, can help transform the nation. In Abuja for News Central, I am Joshua Imarayi.
Now the news continues in Southern Africa, where Mozambique will hold a general election on the 9th of October, but voters fear they will be deprived of a fair and democratic electoral process. Mozambique won independence in 1975 after a decade-long war against Portuguese colonizers and is one of the poorest countries in the world despite its vast natural gas deposits.
O nosso jovem estamos a lutar aqui, a Frelimo deve perder. Mas em termos de roubo dos votos, pode haver nos prejudicar. Porque dizem que a Frelimo que fez, a Frelimo que faz. Tudo vai fazer a força e ele está a fazer a força.
O voto sempre contou e vai contar para sempre. Só que acontece, as nossas eleições nunca foram transparentes, né?
Now, thousands have taken to the streets in London, United Kingdom, in support of Palestinians as the war in Gaza enters its 12th month. Hamas' October 7 attack on Israel resulted in the deaths of 1,205 people, mostly civilians, based on Israeli official figures that include hostages killed in captivity. According to figures from the Hamas-run territory's health ministry, Israel's retaliatory military offensive has killed at least 41,825, majority of them civilians. The toll includes 23 deaths in the previous 24 hours, which said 96,910 people have been wounded in the Gaza Strip since the war began. Let's take you through some business stories now. Extreme weather events from Asia to the Americas are driving concerns about global crop yields, pushing food prices higher. The Bloomberg Agriculture Spot Index, which tracks key commodities, rose over 7% in the past month, the sharpest increase since early 2022. Now, this surge follows droughts, floods and fires affecting farms from Brazil to Vietnam, disrupting the supply of sugar, grains and coffee. Michael Whitehead of ANZ Crop Holdings noted that worsening weather conditions have increased supply uncertainty, prompting buyers to pay more. Now, while food prices had been stable earlier in 2024, continued weather challenges may push grocery bills higher. Nigeria's debt servicing payments surged by 69% in the first half of 2024, reaching 6.04 trillion naira compared to 3.58 trillion naira in the same period in 2023. The data from the Central Bank of Nigeria reveals that debt service now accounts for a concerning 50% of the government's total expenditure, leaving limited resources for other essential areas. This sharp rise, likely driven by naira devaluation and high interest rates, signals growing fiscal pressure on the federal government. Debt service accounted for 50% of total expenditure in the first half of 2024, consuming a staggering 162% of total revenue, leaving little room for essential spending. We go on a short break now, and when we come back, we'll take you through sports stories. Stay with us. And in sports now, head coach of the Super Eagles of Nigeria, Augustine Eguavoen, has released a 23-man squad list ahead of the AFCON 2025 qualifiers double-header against Libya. Join Onyinyechi Obaro for more updates.
In the world of sport, head coach of the Super Eagles of Nigeria, Augustine Eguavoen, has called up captain William Ekong, Ademola Lukman, Moses Simon and 20 other players for this month's home and away 2025 African Cup of Nations qualifiers with the Mediterranean Knights of Libya. Wingbacks Olaoluwa Aina and Bruno Onyemachi are included as well. Goalkeeper Stanley Nwabali and Maduka Okoye made the list. Reigning African Player of the Year Victor Osimhen and South African-based centre-back Olisanda have been excluded on the grounds of injury. The Super Eagles will host the Mediterranean Knights at the Godswill Akpabio International Stadium in Uyo on Friday, the 11th of October, before flying to Benghazi to take on the Knights at the Matthias of Benina Stadium, 19 kilometers away from Benghazi, on Tuesday, 15th of October. Lobi Stars have finally secured their first win of the 2024-2025 Nigeria Premier Football League season, claiming all 3 points in a Hartford 1-0 victory over Shooting Stars at the Lafia City Stadium in Makurdi. The decisive moment came in the 29th minute when midfielder Samuel Teaser fired home, delivering the crucial goal that ended Lobi Stars' rough patch. Under the guidance of coach Eugene Agbagbe, the team had struggled in their previous 4 outings, losing 3 and winning only 1. The much-needed win lifts Lobi Stars out of the relegation zone, propelling them to the 15th place on the league table. It offers the club a glimmer of hope as they look to build momentum and climb further in the standings in the coming weeks. Finally, in the world of sport, Nigeria's gaming and e-sport industry witnessed a significant boost today, with the BetKing Gamer Series 3, organized by Kavin Gaming in collaboration with BetKing. The event, themed Beyond the Scope, took place at Landmark Event Center and brought together 137 gamers, all competing for a prize pool of 1.5 million naira. The gamers in the round-robin format competed in a preliminary order to qualify for the knockout stage. Gamers did battle in popular games like Call of Duty and Fortnite. Organizers and participants emphasized the critical role such tournaments play in advancing Nigeria's gaming industry and creating more opportunities for gamers across the country.
It's a series that showcases cutting-edge technology, trying to see how we can bring up the idea of video gaming, because video gaming, it's a very niche community where you have young professionals, you know, who are professional gamers, you know. Gone are those days where video gaming is a crime. For us, this is a huge part of our CSR. I can tell you for free that when it comes to CSR, BetKing is one of the leading organizations out there, you know, who do a lot of CSR.
So BetKing Gamer Series is a collaboration between BetKing and Gamer and Carven, the gaming lounge, to bring something to the gamers, sponsored obviously by BetKing. It's an opportunity for gamers to explore themselves within gaming, show them that their passion can also be translated into something for themselves. Basically, their passion can be translated to money.
Mostly because of the fact that, you know, being in Nigeria, we don't really have servers. So we have to go up against like people that literally have the server in their backyard. And Fortnite is something that's internet dependent. If you have a higher delay, there's a higher chance you lose. But we still, because of the love for the game and the grind, we still play it regardless. Yeah.
Currently now, like the Nigerian gaming community, like it has really brought a lot of people together. Like I feel like most of people here, like I didn't know anyone like when I was like now I know like some of them due to this gaming thing. Gaming really brought a lot of people together. Gaming in general does bring a lot of people together.
And that's it in the world of sport. I am Onyinyechi Obaro.
And that's all on the news at this hour. But before we go, let's take another look at some of the major stories. RSIEC has declared APP the winner of 22 out of 23 chairmanship positions in the Rivers State local government election. We also mentioned that federal government gifted exotic cars to outstanding teachers to commemorate World Teachers' Day. And finally, we told you that Mozambicans have expressed fear of lack of transparency ahead of general polls. You can watch News Central live on DSTV, channel 422, Star Times, channel 274, Avo TV, and YouTube. Many thanks for watching. I'm Blessings Mosugu.